Hey everyone, this is Will Myers with Myers Impact, and today I'm going to share a case study with you with my client Dan Henry, who is an extremely busy entrepreneur with very limited time to work out. He was struggling to hit his fitness goals, starving himself, and having little to no progress at all. After working with me for about 6 months, he made a rapid transformation and was able to eat more, work out less, and finally meet his fitness goals. In a moment, I'm going to play a short interview for you where we break down his entire journey, what worked for him, and how it could work for you. After this short interview, if you're interested to hear more about the program that Dan is on, I'll come back here on camera and tell you more about it. Let's jump in. Welcome in, Dan. So, if you don't mind, take a moment, tell us a little bit about yourself and your fitness goals.
Hey man, so I am 35. I own a business with about 12 employees. So, most of my time really does revolve around my business and making my business successful. So, uh, you know, my fitness goals are I'm not trying to be like this huge bodybuilder or anything like that. But I am trying to look good. I like looking good on stage. I like looking good, in relationships. I like looking good just for myself. And, I wanted to lose weight, lose fat, gain some muscle, and just have a better build because I always had a very like soft look. And it's weird. I had a dad bod and then I had a kid and now I don't have a dad bod, you know? So that's been the goal. And honestly, being able to manage fitness at a higher level, not just like, here and there, but like really focus on fitness while not having it distract from my business. So that's been my goal the whole time.
What do you think was the main problem you were experiencing before we got started?
So the main thing was that, I was trying all these different approaches, like intermittent fasting or,
Mhm.
pretty much just starving myself, eating, you know, uh, eating less to lose weight. I was doing a ton of cardio and then stopping because I didn't have time. I was struggling to stick to something because it demanded so much of my time. Like instead of working out 3 days a week, I was trying to like work out five or six, and I was just overwhelming myself. It started to affect my business because I was just focused on that. And I honestly, and this is the worst part, I did all this. I spent all this time doing all this. I spent a lot more time doing it and focusing in a lot more energy before than what I do now with you. And I didn't really have any good results. So, the problem was for me, I think I just, because, I know this in business. It's one thing to work very hard, and it's quite another to work smart. Even in my business, I teach people very, very simple tricks and ways of and approaches and strategies that take their business journey from this amount to this amount. And because it doesn't matter how hard you work, if you're not doing it at the optimal level, it's not going to work. And so my biggest problem, honestly, was doing this much and getting this much of a result.
Mm. I love that. Working smart versus working hard. So, help
Absolutely.
me understand, why did you choose to join my program versus other programs out there?
Well, I had joined a lot of programs before yours, and so I'm no stranger to trying things out. But the thing about it is, all the programs that I joined, they were like 99 bucks, couple $100. They were really cheap. And one thing I've always believed is that if you're the cheapest, nobody expects you to be the best. And if you're the best, nobody expects you to be the cheapest. And what I liked about you was that, you weren't just some cheap trainer who's going to throw me a nutrition plan, because that, I've done that a million times. It doesn't work. I needed a higher level. I need somebody that really knew what they were doing. And, I'll just say this personally, when I look for anything, if somebody is cheap and somebody charges pennies for it, I automatically think they can't possibly know what they're doing, because if they did, why would they be so cheap? So, there was that. And then there was the fact that you're a bodybuilder, and you're not just a bodybuilder. You went from, I've seen your pictures, you went from being this tiny, like you look, I always tell you, you looked like the guy in the cave from Iron Man, that skinny dude, you know?
I knew it was coming.
And now you're like this, just realistic bodybuilder. Like you're big and you have a great physique, but you're not like these meatheads that you see out there on steroids. And we had that conversation, and seeing your transformation without any sort of gear, because a lot of people cheat, they do it like that, and just seeing how you did it, and then hearing how knowledgeable you were about it, and it was very different than what I had heard in the past. It went against the grain. It was things like actually eating more. Like the first thing you told me to do was eat more. And the concept of meal timing over, how much I ate, and just all these things that I hadn't heard before. And honestly, I've seen your other client results, and they were just fantastic. I mean, it was hard not to say no, because all the things really lined up, and you really seemed like you weren't just another fitness trainer, because anybody can get a personal trainer certificate online. You're like the trainer of the trainer of the trainers. You're upper echelon. And I think I just got sick of working with just anybody, and I wanted to work with the best.
I really appreciate that. Was there anything in my program that in particular really worked for you? Like, why was it so effective?
I mean, I will tell you this, right? So there were some things I had never heard about before, especially when it came to nutrition and in the gym. And some of the things were small, right? Like, I'll give you an example. I've always had trouble growing certain muscle groups, because I would just do them. I would do the exercise. So I'd go in the gym and I'd do, like lat pull downs or something. And I just never could get my back to widen, or my frame to sort of, I used to have this kind of sulky, soft potato frame. And now there's like an actual, like frame. And, I had done the same exercises, but the thing about it was I not only was I not doing them right, but there were some things you did. Like one thing you did in particular was you showed me how to exhaust my biceps, so that when I was doing something like a lat pull down, the biceps weren't helping, so that my lats were 100% doing the work. And once I started doing that, the lats grew. And it was just something crazy like that. And you showed me like 100 things like that made an impact, but I'm just giving you an example of just one, because so many times that I go to the gym and I'm like, lat pull down, lat pull, or whatever it is I'm doing. And I'm like, why am I not growing? And why am I not getting the progress that I want? And then when I learned about, I forget what you call it, but where you get in frame and, exhaust the biceps with different exercises before you do that exercise, and all the other things, once doing that and doing the proper form, I just started to grow out of nowhere. It was almost like I was on steroids, because, when you do that exercise and you don't get results for years, and then in just a couple of months, you start growing, it's almost, you feel like you're on something, but you're not. And so that was the biggest thing, man, is just honestly, you're just better at it. I mean, I wish I could tell you some like, mystical thing, but the fact is you just are more knowledgeable at it. You have a high level of aptitude when it comes to working out. And it made me feel good, because I realized that I could work smarter and not more and harder, and achieve way, way more. And for an entrepreneur, business owner, that really felt good, because it showed me that I could get the results I wanted without just completely like inundating my life with working out and taking time away from my business and my family.
Absolutely. What was your result we've been implementing the program. What was your personal results?
Well, I'm sure you can probably show some before and after pictures, but the biggest thing was, I was soft, and I did not have the definition and size in my muscles that I wanted. I was, I looked, I guess you could call it skinny fat or something like that. I would go up and down in weight, and I wouldn't know why. And I went from sort of like kind of having some muscles underneath the potato to actually being able to, have like actually looking like I go to the gym. Like, and here's the funny thing: before, nobody would mention that to me, and now I can't tell you the amount of times that I'll be at a restaurant, or I'll be in a situation and somebody will just mention like, "Oh yeah, you go to the gym. Oh, you go to the gym." Yeah, and it just feels good to hear that. It feels good to hear like, yeah, of course you go to the gym. This guy, oh look at this guy with the muscles, like just weird stuff. And not that I'm huge or anything. I mean, I never had anything like this. So I know this is not
Look out.
huge, but compared to what I had before, I mean, it's like putting like a bag of flour here versus an actual muscle. And it's like hard. And I look good. I feel good. I feel better about myself. A lot of times I think that men don't talk about that. Like, women talk about that a lot. They say, "Oh, I want to feel good. I want to feel good about myself." And I know you've helped a lot of women as well. But I don't think men talk about that a lot. And when you're walking around and your shoulders are up and your chest is up and people are talking about your arms and stuff, like, I don't care how modest or humble you want to be, it makes you feel good. So that's been my experience. And I also know that with the growth that I've had, I'm going to look just incredible in 6 months or a year. I mean, I've already made so much progress in such a short time.
If we were to think about how your life has truly changed from this, what would you say?
I mean, it's changed because, fitness should be something that you love, and fitness should be something that you don't fight with. I should not wake up in the morning and go, "Oh, I got to go to the gym. Oh, I got to find a time to go to the gym." And that's always been the case. Now I'm excited to go to the gym. I'm excited um, to do these things because, you know, I actually see the result. Like, imagine if you, I don't know, imagine if somebody said, jump up and down 50 times a day and you'll be happier. And you jumped up and down 50 times a day for a week, a month, 6 months, a year, and you're not getting any happier. You're not going to want to jump up and down. But if for some reason that made you happier and you felt that, you'd be waking up every morning, jumping up and down like a freaking yo-yo. And so it made me appreciate fitness more. It also allowed me to not take time away from my business, because the thing was I was working so hard at doing it wrong before that it was costing an immense amount of time that took me away from my family and my business. And so I feel like if I didn't work with you, I would still be doing that. I would still be, um, wasting time, taking time away from my business, being depressed about going to the gym, or working out, or even working out at home. And I wouldn't be able to actually do what I'm doing now and look myself in the mirror and know that every day I'm doing the right thing. And it's just a really, really good feeling. And I love the feeling, and I don't like the old feeling. So I'm just glad I'm not still feeling like that.
That's a transformation. If there's anybody that's listening to this that's on the fence, thinking about joining the program, what's something that you might say to them?
I mean, I guess I would say the only reason you wouldn't join is if you hate having a nice body. I mean, here's the thing. If you don't value yourself, your time, if you're looking for somebody who is gonna, just make you one of many, and they're just gonna toss you out some half-assed fitness program because you're looking for the cheapest, if I always say health is wealth. If you feel good and you look good and you feel good about yourself, you're going to do better at business. You're going to do better at life. And we'll sit there and we'll spend all this crazy amount of money on stuff for our business, or even just personal stuff, or just stuff that doesn't even matter. But then when it comes, I've seen people spend tons of money on like just going out and drinking or something, just frivolous stuff. But when it comes to spending it on something that could really improve our lives, our health, the way we look, we're like, oh, it's a lot of money, blah, 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 and it's like, that's BS. That's BS. So if you're looking for that, if you're not, if you don't care about yourself and you don't care to invest in yourself as much as you invest in bullshit that you normally invest in, then honestly, it's not for you. Because when you work with Will, you're going to be working with like the best of the best, you know? And so for me, I would say to somebody on the fence, first, make sure that you actually care about yourself. Because if you don't care about yourself, you're not going to want to do it. And the second thing I would say is, man, you just got to do it. I mean, if you do care about yourself, you got to tell yourself, I want to invest the time, I want to invest the energy, and yes, of course, the money to work with the best. Okay. Because I'm sorry, I like working with the best. I don't like working with mediocre people. You know, it's just not me. And so that's what I would say. And I would also say that the dividends it will pay, having more, especially, I mean, especially if you're an entrepreneur or any kind of business owner, the dividends it will pay in the time back is going to more than make up for anything that that you could possibly uh, uh, deduce as a cost. You know, I always invest in things that bring more money back to me. And I will tell you, the amount of time I've saved by doing it right has made me more money in my business. So to me, it's not just about how I look, you know, this program is paid for itself just in the time saved and feeling better about myself and thus doing a better job in my business and in my work. That's what I would say.
Thank you. That's huge. I really appreciate the time. And it's been an honor working with you this whole time. And I'm really looking forward to where we head in the future because you are just so disciplined when it comes to getting it done. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate the muscles, Will.
You're welcome. Enjoy that, the attention you're getting in the restaurants.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. Welcome back. Throughout the course of that interview, there may have been a couple things that Dan said that really resonated with you. So if you found yourself ever experiencing some of the problems that Dan was experiencing, then it may be time for you to really look for a coach and start to understand why the program was so important for him to make sure, again, like he said, that he was now working smart instead of working hard. So again, if any of this made sense to you, I want to invite you to click the link below and schedule yourself right onto my calendar. Then next, there's going to be a form that asks you to fill out as much information as you can to help me understand what it is that I can help you with. Again, please fill that form out as much as you can and as detailed as you can so I can truly understand all the areas that we need to attack your program. I'm absolutely wishing you the best of health as we move into this new year. And always remember, health truly is wealth.